Welcome back. This is chapter 15 of Kin in Line, and you find a woman apparently screaming. It was from that same day where we got the mobile model going. And this, although it's got a few marks across it, would have been exhibited. This little sticky tape around where it would have been tucked behind a mount. But yeah, clearly Mr. Lugg thought it worth showing, so it must have some merit. This collection contains throwbacks to my early days as a student, and so on an outing to some beach or pond here, I'm not sure where this is, but you'll see this is lacking in the same sort of line quality I got earlier. Lots of bold lines, but not necessarily very good drawing. This was on the same outing, and I can't place where this is. It looks like a kind of a little toilet or something. There's quite a few were done on the same outing. Yeah, just lacks too much, really. But what I do like from this little group is that I managed to do this. And this is the little technical college bus that took us everywhere. And there's a little Volkswagen Beetle on the right. And then Technische College, whatever, West London, East London Technical College. That was the bus, so at least I recorded that. It looks like it's one of those coastal many sort of river mouths just to the west of East London. This is actually quite a good drawing, I think. It had to tell a story, and it did so. I mean, at least I have this record. It's not great draftsmanship. Here I'm back with a pastel. It's all about light and shade here, and it's quite a mess, really. Not my greatest effort, I don't think. And remember, we were at Anne Bryant Art Gallery, where I showed a few drawings. This seems to have been a more successful one, with just a detail of one of the gables, really, with the lovely chimneys on top and a balcony. This is a far better way of approaching a complex building like that. You can't do justice to it in a drawing by trying to capture the whole thing, but if you home in on a detail like this, then you really get a sense of its quality. So this is actually, I think, quite a successful drawing. We've seen this fellow before, but not this one, which I quite like. Indeed, one of the beauties of it's according to where the signature is, it should be this way up, and I think I was wrong. I prefer it this way. Let's see, I've got another version of this on a wall just around the corner, so we're going to take a stroll. Yeah, so this way is the other way up. Different colors, and actually a totally different, I actually used the roller across and just rolled some, it's quite an interesting woodcut, this. So there's the orange version, and here is the green and yellow version. And I quite like it this way up for some reason. Another big page to open out. Don't remember this at all, but clearly just went mad with some pastel there, and it's like one of these examples of not lifting the pencil. It's probably on that same day when we went. Quite like the fact that I've shaded in some of the spaces, not lifting up the pen and just looking at the model. Yeah, quite an interesting exercise. Got our surfer again, and I don't recall at all drawing this, but some cemetery somewhere in East London with a Celtic cross. And I've always enjoyed cemeteries. There's a lovely one in Port Elizabeth where I now live, St. Mary's, which has some tombstones, headstones dating back to the late 18th century, I think, very early 19th. Even before the 1820 settlers arrived, like ship captain who might have drowned when a ship sank, that sort of thing. So, yeah. Might even see a name here. William Clifford somebody Swan. Bill. Clifford Bill in brackets. Yeah, Bill. So my father was Bill Bentley, William. So that's quite interesting. Clifford and William were his first names. Yeah, this is one I just don't remember doing at all. And yet it's quite a good one. And there's even an interesting drawing on the back. So really, I mean, I was having fun here, caricature type drawings of individuals posing in our, these are my fellow students. I wonder who this guy was with a moustache. Cool. I think we're jumping ahead too far with these, so I'm not going to show them now, because this is from another era. Yeah, all these are from a bit later. They have their own stories to tell. But this was still from art school. Again, I wasn't religious, but I liked the idea of a sanctuary, a church being a sanctuary. And just, so this is probably a liner or woodcut, I can't remember. And I quite like it now. And even again here we got orange on the camera as opposed to the red in reality, and I think the orange does work better, although the green doesn't come out as... Yeah, I never really thought much of this when I did it, but now I quite enjoy it. It's called Interior Church, also done in 1977. Sure, it seemed to only have one. It says how many? I only made 3 prints, so this is one of 3. Now this is I used this on the cover of an autobiography that I did I wrote it in early 2000s, called Apartheid's Child, Freedom's Son, and I only published 30 copies of the book. It was then republished by footprint press in Cape Town in 2019, and they didn't use this on the cover, and they didn't use, anyway, they adapted it. We only used drawings, we didn't use photographs. But anyway, this was on the cover of the original. In fact, I cropped it down to about there. And this was a National Party meeting in East London where P.W. Botha, the Prime Minister at the time, was addressing this crowd in the City Hall. And I stood here and heckled and was eventually basically ousted from the City Hall by their thugs. And then I must have done this a few weeks later when I'd recovered from the trauma of it all. So this was done in 78. It was a very fraught political period. Lots of bannings. Donald Woods, the editor of the Dispatch, was under a banning order. They'd banned certain organizations, newspapers. Yeah, that's the old South African flag, and that's probably my attempt at P.W. Botha. And the photographer there, whose name I now forget, Taylor, what was his first name? He came up and photographed me as they were bullying me while I was heckling P.W. Botha, and the picture appeared on the front page of the Dispatch. So I became a little bit famous at about the age of 21 or 2. Anyway, I must leave it for now. Cheers.